Learning something very important, and maybe actually the most important thing you can learn, and especially at this time of year, where we see that Rabbi Akiva's students didn't love each other that much, they didn't honor each other and respect each other. So we have a mitzvah in the Torah. It's a mitzvah from the Torah. Lereacha Kamocha. We read about it in last week's Parsha. Lereacha Kamocha, which means you should love your fellow as yourself, which means you have to love every Jew. You have a mitzvah to put on tefillin. You have a mitzvah to eat matzah. You have a mitzvah to keep Shabbos. You have a mitzvah to love every Jew, as equal as those ones. So are you doing it? Are you keeping Shabbos?
Yeah.
Are you keeping kosher?
Yeah.
Are you putting on tefillin?
Yes.
Did you eat matzah? Do you love every Jew?
Yeah. I like to think so.
You'd like to think so. I'm sure you'd like to think so. I asked you if you are.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pro-Palestine, Naturikata Jews, you love them?
Yeah.
You actively love them?
Actively, I don't send them flowers, but you know.
Do you want to love every Jew?
Yeah.
Is that something you'd like? Is that something you want in life?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm now going to give you the 3 ways you know if you're telling the truth. These are the 3 ways you know how much you want something. Number 1 is how much do you think about it? So if you want your team to win, you can't stop thinking about the game. If you like that girl, you're obsessed, you can't stop thinking about it. So the more you want something, the more you you just can't stop thinking about it. That's the number 1 way of how you know how much you want it. Another way is how much effort you are willing to invest in attaining it. So if you want to be ripped, then if you really want to be ripped, you'll go to the gym a lot and you'll eat protein. If you don't care, you'd say, I'd like to be ripped, but I don't really care. Then you won't put in that much effort. Because you put effort into what you want. So if you want to, then you put effort into achieving it. And the 3rd way is tefillah. How much do you pray for it? You pray for what you want. If you're going to speak to God, what do you speak to God about? What you want. Please help me become a better person. Please help me find a wife. Please help me be healthy. Why do you pray for those things? Because you want those things. You want to be healthy, you want to have a wife, and you want to have a better person, and you want money. Good? So this goes for every area of your life. You can know how much you want something by how much you think about it, how much effort you're willing to invest in achieving it, and how much you pray for it. Let's go back to our original question. Do you want to love every Jew? You say you do. So how much do you think about that? When you're walking around generally during the day, you're thinking, you know what? I just want to love every Jew. I want to work on, wow, I love that guy, I love that guy. You know what, that guy who's shouting at me and being horrible and rude to me, I want to love that guy, or I do love that guy anyway. How much did you pray for it in the last 2 weeks? Let's say Shemona Esrei and Hit Badidot, if you're just speaking to Hashem. What percentage of your Shemona Esrei and Hit Badidot were you saying, please Hashem, help me love every Jew, I just want to feel immense love in my heart for every Jew, even evil Jews. I really want that. And how much effort are you putting in? Do you read books about it? Are you studying? How do you do that? What does it really mean to love every Jew? How can I achieve that? So I would imagine, and I don't know, but probably not much of either of those 3. Because you've got other things to think about. Now you're not a bad person, you've just got, I'm thinking about my own personal growth and relationships and money. But I've just helped you gain some perspective on understanding yourself deeper now. So when I say, do you want to love every Jew, as a abstract general idea, you're like, of course I do. But when it comes to day-to-day life, if you're not thinking about it, working on it and praying for it, it shows that you don't value it that much. I'm now telling you that it should be one of your top values. It should be one of your top values. It should be something you're thinking about more than most things, something you're investing in more than most things, or something you're praying about more than most things. How do you know that? A few places. Rabbi Akiva says it's a klal gadol b'Torah. Ahavta Lereacha Kamocha is a klal gadol b'Torah, which means it's a major rule in the Torah. It's a major principle of the Torah. But when we say the Torah, we don't just mean that a book. We mean life, because the Torah is the guidebook for life. Torah means hora'ah, which means instruction manuals. So if loving your fellow as yourself, unconditionally loving every Jew, is a klal gadol in life, that's something you should be really deeply diving into. Hillel says that it's the whole purpose of everything of the Torah and everything else is just commentary on that. Don't do to others what you wouldn't want to have done to yourself. So it's really. When it comes to every mitzvah, it's really important for a few reasons. The first one is a little bit more selfish, but it's not terrible. It's really good for you. This is good for you spiritually, because you're doing a mitzvah. And every mitzvah you do, all the time you're doing it, you are pumping up your soul. You're bringing down divine light into your soul. When you put on tefillin, whether you feel it or not, you're now drawing down immense divine light into your soul. Which is why I suggest to people, when you put on your tefillin, after you've said the bracha, nanech tefillin, you should just stop for a minute and just breathe through your nose and try to even imagine, if you can't feel it physically, because it's not a physical feeling, just trying to imagine my soul is definitely being uplifted. Just 1 minute after you put on tefillin, breathing and feeling the influx of, after you say the Shema, after you do a mitzvah, you should take a minute and feel what that feels like for your soul. So that's the one reason. The second reason, also selfish in a way, is because walking around with love is wonderful. You can walk around with hatred and judgment and anger and disunity, but that's just not good for you. It's bad for your life. Or you could be walking around with immense love. I just love people, even if they're not nice, and even if I feel loved. And the next reason is because it's one of the whole purposes of life, to love and care about other people and invest in other people. And another higher reason is, if we don't, then Hashem doesn't want to play with us. If my kids are fighting and arguing with each other, I don't want to spend time with them. I don't want to hang out with my kids when they're loving and taking care of each other, even though they're very different, my kids. So if they're getting on together, then I come, as it says in Torah, Lereacha Kamocha, and Hashem. I am God. When you guys love each other, then I'm your God. Obviously, He's always God. So there's very many good reasons that you want to really work on loving it. People who are loving people have better relationships, better lives, more peace of mind. People who are loving people don't get offended so easily. So what's the key to loving every Jew? There are a few. 3 main keys to loving every Jew. Number 1, loving yourself. If you don't love yourself and you don't feel good about yourself, then it's hard to love other people, because you don't feel good about yourself, so you have to judge them and put them down to make yourself feel better about yourself. Someone who has a truly healthy sense of self, not arrogant by the way, arrogant people don't like other people, because they get in the way of me being a man and my ego. Someone with immense self-worth and self-love and sees the good in themselves and connects to them, their essence, is much easier to see the good in other people, to judge other people favorably. It's easy to judge other people favorably when you judge yourself favorably and you're working on yourself. So the number 1 key to loving every Jew is have a very strong, healthy sense of self and self-love. And we've said a few times that the key to self-worth is living up to your values. Having the right values and living up to them. So I want to be good, I want to do good. I want to improve myself, I want to improve the world, I want to grow, I want to contribute, I want to self-actualize and self-transcend. I just want to become the kindest, most loving, present, playful, compassionate, motivated person I can become. And positively impact the world around me. And that's up to me. I get to choose how much I do that. So therefore my sense of self, being based on that, is really in my own hands, not what other people think of my body and even my classes and my car. I don't have a car.
No.
My beard, you can get a sense of self in the beard. It's a bit of a, because Hashem loves you according to the length of your beard. Obviously. So, loving yourself is the number 1 key to loving other people. That's why if you look at the words, Aהבת Lereacha Kamocha, you should love your fellow as yourself. Well, that means you have to love yourself. If you hate yourself and then you love your fellows yourself, but you hate yourself, then you hate them. So you have to love yourself. So work on self-love 2 ways. Number 1, live up to your values. Number 2, speak to yourself in a kind and compassionate way. The negative critical voice in your head, or the arrogant voice in your head, which is actually destroying your peace of mind and sense of self, you let go of that. You say, I hear you, but I'm not doing that, and you just switch out for, I'm doing okay. Actually,
Number 2 as well.
Number 2 is speaking to yourself kindly. Number 1 way to build a healthy sense of self is live up to your values. Number 2 ways is speak to yourself kindly. Be gentle and kind and compassionate with yourself. Not soft on yourself. Don't let yourself get away with stuff and justify your laziness. But be kind, gentle, kind with yourself. Motivated and kind, compassionate. The second key to love, and I think there's a psychological and a spiritual reason for this, is simcha. How about that? This was my chiddush. It came to me on Thursday last week. And I was really thinking how, thank God, I generally love people. Even if they're not nice, I just love them. I thought, I really was trying to think why, what is, and then I worked out it's because I am besimcha. I'm immensely happy. But true, not just I'm happy that my team wins, I'm just a happy person. So if you're a happy person, then you naturally exude love, because I just, happiness, simcha really in Judaism is also to do with other people. Someone who's really happy wants other people to be happy. I want to share my simcha, it's when we get together. So someone who's truly, deeply, authentically, consistently happy naturally loves people, because there's no reason not to. Why wouldn't I? It also helps that people who are truly happy and are not relying on the external world for their happiness don't get offended easily or let down easily. So if people say, I find people hard to love because they annoy me, or they insult me, or I can't trust them, or they let me down, that. But once you're a truly happy person, someone letting you down doesn't take away from your happiness. And you can't get offended or insulted because you're really happy. Therefore you're not so needy and reliant on other people, so you can love them even if they do things to let you down and offend you and insult you. Because you're just like, I'm just not bothered by that. And then you can really see through their pain, and obviously if people are negative and critical, you can judge them favorably and find the good in them and focus on their good point. Rabbi Nachman says you really have to focus on your nekuda tova, find the good point in yourself and then find it in other people, and help bring that out of other people. The more you show other people love, the more loving they become, because the more lovable they feel. And when you feel lovable, you become loving. And when you feel unlovable, then it's hard for you to love. And then you feel vulnerable, and you don't want to get taken advantage of. So if you have a really healthy sense of self, and you're truly living with authentic simcha, there's no reason not to love people. It naturally flows from you. Another major teaching we learn from this whole idea is that Hashem commands you to feel things. You have to love your neighbor as yourself. You have to not bear a grudge. You have to be happier in Ada, even if you lost your job and split up with your girlfriend. You have to be sad in Av, even if you found your dream job and your dream girl. Is it fair for Hashem to command feelings?
You wouldn't think so.
You would not think so. You can tell me to put on tefillin, because I'll just put them on whether I feel it or not. But you can't tell me to love someone. I don't. You can't even really tell me to love Hashem. What if things aren't going well in my life and my prayers aren't getting answered and I can't see Hashem? Hashem's not tangible. How can I love Hashem? How can I not bear a grudge if you come and burn my house down and blow up my car and cut off my legs? So it seems not fair that Hashem should command me to do something that's not really in my control. Yeah? So what's the answer? It must be in your control. Hashem can't command you to do something that you can't do.
Right.
So it's actually teaching us the flip. It's teaching us Hashem believes you can control your emotional world. You can create love. You can create joy, even if your circumstances are very difficult. That doesn't mean you're emotionally repressed and just pretending. You can feel pain and struggle, that's okay. but you can create your emotional state. How do you create your emotional state?
What do you think?
Thoughts. Thoughts create emotions. So you can learn to control your thoughts. So if you're dating someone and you're focusing on all the wonderful things, and the little annoying things you kind of ignore them because it's fun to be dating someone. Then you get married and then start focusing on the little annoying things and ignore all the good stuff, and then you get divorced. Because what you focus on, that becomes your reality, and that becomes their reality. If you focus on the nakuda tova, the good in them, then that helps them live it, and that helps you, by the way. You maintain the love for your wife by constantly focusing on all the good things about her, all the things you respect and admire and look up to and about your wife. So Hashem absolutely can command you to feel something because He knows that you can be in control of your emotional life. Not easy, not just like, okay, you can cry, you can feel pain. But then you take the pain to become more resilient and more kind and have more emunah and therefore more simcha and therefore more love and therefore you're fine. So that's one way. You have to start training your mental state. What are you focusing on? What thoughts are creating your experience of life? If your thoughts are all negative, why me, it's not fair, you're not going to have a good life. You're not going to have good emotions. You're not going to have good states of consciousness. But if your thoughts are, I have so much opportunity, I have so much potential, then you're going to have a completely uplifted experience of life. So that's the first level. The second level we're going to talk about now. I'll give you a little bit of an introduction, but the truth is, there are two types of love. Ahava sheteluya b'davar, love that depends on something. So I love my wife. When I was dating my wife, how did I choose to marry her? It wasn't unconditional. It was conditional. Have to be attractive, have to share values, have to communicate well, have to want to grow together, have to enjoy being together. So it was, and that's not bad. Usually in the English, you think the word conditional love, that's a bad thing. It's not. Even your friends, you hang out with your friends, the people you like. If people are annoying and have very different values then you don't hang out with them. So your love and your relationship is based on shared values. But there's a deeper type of love, which is your intrinsic love. You do actually love every Jew. You actually, right now, sitting here right now, you do. Now you might be thinking, no I don't, there's that guy, he's annoying, and the guy in my room, he's that, and this guy, he's doing bad things, and that guy. So your ego doesn't like people. Your ego judges people and they go against you, but your neshama is completely full of love for every Jew. Your essence is in love with their essence, really. That's how it works. So you don't have to create love, you have to reveal the intrinsic love. And that's actually sometimes much easier. Because the way you create love and joy is by training your mind to think the right positive thoughts. And that's actually very difficult. Whereas the way to tap into your intrinsic love is just to keep saying it. So for example, do you love Hashem? How much do you think about Hashem like you would a woman? How much do you kind of obsessed? How much do you want to really do? You know what Hashem, I'm putting on my tefillin because I love you. I love you, I want you to be happy. It's a very high level. I'm not saying I do. So you can say, as an answer to the question, yeah, I love Hashem, but if you're not thinking about Hashem and like fondly, like the Rambam literally says you have to be choleh u'meshuga, sick and crazy, like you are for a woman. You have to feel that for Hashem. So most of us aren't. We'll daven mincha and we'll enjoy mincha and we'll work on it. No, we're in love with your thing. You're in love with the wrong thing. So one way to build love for Hashem is hitbaninot, this contemplation. Look how much He does for me, and how amazing He created the world. And the Rambam says through hitbaninot you can come to love Hashem. And my Rebbe says as well. I tried that for a really long time. It didn't work. It's very difficult for me because I've always had the cynical voice here saying, "Yeah, but what about the Holocaust and where is He?" And blah, blah, blah. I've got all the right answers to those questions. I have emunah. But to feel love for Hashem, very difficult. So I skip that external love, and I just try to tap into my natural state of my neshama is in love with Hashem. So I don't need to create love by thinking about it, I need to reveal love. How do you do that? How do you tap into the natural love that is already in your heart and soul for Hashem?
For Hashem or for your fellow?
Let's start with Hashem, because in general it's usually easier with Hashem, because your fellow is annoying you. Now sometimes Hashem annoys you, or doesn't answer your prayers.
Gratitude.
There are two ways. That's gratitude. That's still contemplation. Wow, look at all the amazing things you've done for me. But then the mind says, yeah, but you haven't given me a wife yet, you haven't done this. What you need to do is you need to skip your mind and enter straight into your soul. So, skip your mind, enter straight into your soul, and dive into your natural wellspring of loving Hashem that is already there. How do you do that? Two ways. Breath and speech. Breath and speech. Breathing deeply through your nose brings you into the present moment and connects you to your soul. Speech teaches your heart what your head knows rationally, but your heart's not rational. So for example, I just started doing this a lot. I'm mamish loving Hashem. I'm obsessed with it. Now, it's not true. But the more I say it, the more I tap into that place, because I'm like speaking from my soul. Now, it is true in my soul. So I'm speaking from my soul when I say I love you, Hashem. Or how about this? Hashem, I'm putting on my tefillin now because I love you, I want to make you happy. Hashem, I'm teaching Torah now because I love you, I want to make you happy. I'm looking after my wife and children because I love you, I want to make you happy. I love you, I want to make you happy. I love you so much. It's crazy how much I love you. If you speak like that, it becomes your reality. Whatever you speak, that becomes your reality. If you say, I know you hate me, Hashem, 50 times a day for 3 months, you will feel Hashem hates you. If you say, I'm not good enough,